Hi and welcome back to another Avogo Cooking with Just Maria D. Today we are attempting to make a quiche. I say attempting because you will see in a little while it goes a little bit askew. This is the first mistake of my cooking quiche today because I have gone with real butter instead of my normal dairy-free that I try and use for Joseph. This recipe calls for 200 grams of butter. I could easily have supplemented the dairy-free had I have been thinking straight, but alas, I was not. Once measured, you cut it up into cubes because this is supposed to be cold butter straight from the fridge, which means that it is going to be easier to mix if cubed. You can put this in a food processor. I don't have a food processor anymore, I have a mixer. Now we need to separate the two egg yolks from the whites. I like to do it the old-fashioned way with my fingers. Yes, I realise I do need to fix my nails. I have been looking at it all morning as I've been trying to edit it. You'll be pleased to know that I have now removed the nail polish. Put the two eggs in with the butter and then measure out the flour. We need 350 grams of plain flour for this recipe. I would be a bad vlogger if I only ever showed you my successes. This pastry goes wrong for me because I put it all in together and I neglect to add the 8 teaspoons of cold water that the recipe called for. Now the reason why I neglected to add it was because it was in the method section, not the ingredients section. Because I know how to make pastry and have been making it for years and was trying a new recipe, I didn't bother reading the method section. Yeah, bad me. And so I missed the bit where it said to put the 8 teaspoons of cold water in it. Naughty, naughty slap on wrist. Anyway, moving right along. Once mixed in, I always put it on cling film on my kitchen bench to make sure that it is both mixed and compacted, especially when it is warm like it is at the moment. This recipe didn't actually call to do this, but I did put it into my fridge for about 20 minutes to make sure that it was nice and cool. Then I fry my bacon. I usually use 1 piece per person. In this case, I have 7 people eating dinner tonight, but I have only used 6 pieces of bacon, mostly due to the fact that it would have meant that I had 1 left in the packet and I thought it was better to leave 2 rather than 1. So I shortchanged everybody. I have then sliced up a red onion, some people call it a Spanish onion, and I will add that to the same frying pan as the bacon to make sure that it fries in those lovely juices, taking on the flavour. You can use any regular onion, you can add garlic and mushrooms and pepper and courgette and other wonderful things if you would like. If I was making this for myself, that is how I would do it, but this is what I have identified that my family will eat and enjoy. They also like their bacon done relatively crispy when I make this kind of thing. Same for creamy chicken pasta. So that is why it will end up looking like I have cooked the bejeebers out of it, essentially. If there is anything that 24 years of parenting has taught me, it's that just sometimes it is easier to make it the way that they like it and will enjoy it rather than making every mealtime a battle. So that's how it looks. If you have a quick look in the background, you can see Joey. He's telling me some incredibly interesting story about something on the internet that I now have no idea what it was. Yep, one of those moments. I know you haven't. Let's get cracking on those eggs, shall we? I have used 7, 1 per person and 2 for the pot, giving us a grand total of 9 for those of you that are mathematically challenged. And I'm going to give it a whisk so it's nice and fluffy. I have remembered, hooray, at this point to use my lactose-free cream for Joey, and that goes in and makes it all nice and creamy. Now this is the part of the show where I start to develop heart palpitations. At one point, potentially edited out, I start to jump up and down having a tantrum, and there may have been some inappropriate words used. Wouldn't want to say for sure, just because I know that some of you, might judge me, but I'm suspecting there may have been, because the pastry just did not go to plan because of the fact that I'd left the water out. This in the end was the only way that I could get it to work. I rolled it out on some baking paper and essentially just kept rolling bits and pieces of the pastry until I thought I had roughly the shape of the dish I was using. I have edited out much of the failure of the evening because I think that we would still be going at midnight if I had left it in, and nobody's got time for that. This was an incredibly frustrating experience, I have to say. I have never had a quiche pastry go so wrong, I don't think. I was at one point about to jump in the car and go to the co-op and get some ready-made pastry, but I persevered. So brownie points for persevering in the midst of something that makes me want to throw a rolling pin at the wall. It then goes into the oven, a moderate oven, to be blind baked, and after it is blind baked I start piling in the various ingredients so that it can be cooked proper. I'm pretty sure that I blind baked this on gas mark 6 and cooked it on gas mark 6. I have also remembered, yay for me, to put the lactose-free cheese on top. Like I said, I've put it on gas mark 6 and I cook it until it's brown, which means that it is also set. This is the outcome, and as much as it was a frustrating experience, the family told me that it was very nice indeed.